Hey guys, today we are going to make an Amate bark painting. So you guys are going to have a colored paper and you're going to fill it up with a design that you choose. You're going to have a border and then 5 different things that fills up your empty space. And I have these papers for you guys to choose from if you would like help on figuring out what to draw. So I'm going to start with my border. You can draw whatever border you want. These papers are just to show you different options that you can use. I think I'm going to do a type of square design, so I'm going to start drawing that on the edges of my paper. It makes like a picture frame around my picture. And this is in fast forward because it takes a long time for me to draw it. I'm just going to do like a castle line all the way around my paper. And when I'm finished with that, I'm going to start adding the different elements that I want on the inside of my picture. A sun, cloud with rain, flowers, bird, snake, butterfly. Then it's time for me to trace it so that you guys can see all of my pretty designs that I made. There's my rain, my leaf, my snake, my bird, my flower, my sun, and my butterfly. Now here's the most important part. We're going to paint our picture. You can use whatever paintbrush you want. I'm going to use a small one because I like to be able to control where my paint goes. We have some water to be able to clean off our brush, some paper towels to blot off the water, and we have a whole bunch of paint. I'm going to give you guys lots of different colors. I'm going to let you choose what colors, but I will give you a silver and a gold to add some special details if you would like. So the first thing I'm going to do is choose what I'm going to paint first and choose that color. So I'm going to pick up some red so that I can color in my flower. I'm going very slowly against that edge so that I can make sure my paint stays inside the shape that I made with my pencil and Sharpie. But I also want to make sure that is completely filled in. So I'll get some more paint if I need to when my brush is dry, but being very careful to try to stay inside of those lines. This paint is a little bit thick, so if we paint too thickly over our Sharpie line, you won't be able to see your pretty lines anymore. So we want to make sure we paint everything in, but don't go too thick over your Sharpie line so we can still see what that drawing looks like underneath your paint. Making sure that I'm getting a little bit more paint, but I realize that I have too much on my brush, so I'm going to wipe it off. You can always do that. Making sure that my rose is nice and filled in, and then I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to swirl my brush around in the water. I'm going to wipe my brush on the edge. Then I'm going to use my paper towel to make sure all that water is off of my brush before I get a new color. And I'm going to do that with my whole paper. I'm going to paint in my cloud, making sure that everything is filled in nice and neatly. If you get any on your background, that's okay. We can blot it up with a paper towel, or we can just call it a beautiful oops. Again, clean your brush in between. I didn't like how my yellow was see-through, so I added some white to my yellow to make it stand out a little bit more. Anytime you would like to mix your colors, you can in an empty part of your egg carton. Just make sure that you are being neat and tidy when you are doing that. In my sun, I'm trying to stay in all of those little shapes that I made, and I'm going carefully around my sun's face. I'm going to skip ahead to my border and try to make a pattern with the silver, and then I'm going to do a gold around it.